Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I am Tsogofatso Ngalo, and if it's the first time joining us, you are so welcome. Do like we do, like, comment, share, subscribe. So do life with us as we inspire, as we inform, and as we impact. Today I wanted to talk about a topic which I've touched on before, briefly so. Today I wanted us to expand a bit further on it and see what we can learn from the different principles that I wanted us to look at. And what I wanted us to talk about today was the concept of you are enough or I am enough. I mean, when you think about it, that concept, when you say those words, I am enough, it is so loaded. It can be so intimidating and so intense. That statement is so bold and it's so potent. And so many things can come from articulating that statement. But I wanted us to look at the delicate nature of that statement, because built into the statement, I am enough, it's the ability for the statement to articulate itself without you having to say a word. I mean, that statement has the audacity to ignite and to spark the same fire into the souls that it encounters. That statement does not feel the need to impose itself because it is secure in its uniqueness and its purpose. But oftentimes when we articulate that statement, we articulate it without carrying the conviction of it. And every time you articulate it without carrying the conviction of it, you will always find yourself having to qualify it. And what do I mean? What do I mean by having to qualify that statement? Let's look at an example. An example will be an incessant need for validation. And look, validation in of itself, it's not a bad thing. I mean, everybody needs a healthy dose of validation because it articulates, or it says that I care about that which I'm doing, or I care. But if the validation of others becomes your primary source or your only source of confidence, you are entering into a danger zone, because people will always validate you within the context of their own comfort. And once you step out of their comfort, your content, regardless of how impactful, how powerful, how innovative it is, if it does not fit within their context, within the context of their comfort, you start becoming too much. And if you haven't undergirdled yourself with the intrinsic conviction that you are enough, that your dreams, your passions, your goals, and aspirations are valid, you will always forfeit your greatness at the foothold of someone else's personal conviction. And you will always be left feeling shortchanged. Now, an example of an incessant need for validation would be the constant ultimatums. When you're constantly feeling the need to give an ultimatum. Let's break it down. Ultimatums are essentially rooted in the need for another person to see value in that which they do not perceive as valuable. And oftentimes when we give ultimatums, we will say, if you don't do this, I will leave. If you do this, I will leave. And what you have done in that sense is that you have reduced your self-worth to the perception of another person, thereby giving that person license to ascribe value to your self-worth, because you have placed your self-worth on the negotiating table as a bargaining chip. At that moment, you have given away your personal power. And the danger, the danger of having an insatiable need for validation is that you start convincing yourself that it is okay to compromise your self-worth. And if you contrast it with the statement that we initially spoke about the concept that you are enough, you will realize that we said that I am enough is a statement that articulates security in its uniqueness and purpose. So ultimatums do not reflect a mental and an emotional disposition of security. Now, there are other examples that would reflect the need to qualify the statement, I am enough, but I don't want to go into that at the moment. But rather, I want us to explore this delicate nature or this delicate, sensitive approach to the statement, I am enough. Because we said that the statement, I am enough, has the ability to articulate itself without you having to say a word. Now, this shows that the statement has character. Secondly, it has personality, and it also has a posture. Now, the posture of the statement, we see it in its mental disposition. It is so intentional and deliberate about its mental disposition. So it has the ability to reflect upon decisions and positions it places itself in, because it realizes that there are certain things and there are certain places that can frustrate and even terminate your growth. The ability to reflect, it helps you identify and even get rid of self-sabotaging tendencies and practices. When we say that this statement carries personality, I mean, personality, give flavor, man. It's flavor. It is unique to each and every one of us. And by simple definition, personality is what makes me me and what makes you you. It is the flavor, the zing, the vava voom you add to a situation, any given situation. So the only way that that can authentically happen is you having reconciled yourself with your past and honed in the potential of your future, and still you choose you. Because the moment you choose someone else, you have chosen to drop the ball on yourself, and you have decided that you are not worth it. Now, don't get me wrong. Going through the process of reconciling yourself with your past is not an easy task. But the moment you get intentional about it, deliberate about it, consistent about it, what you do in that moment is that you take the ability from someone else to weaponize your past and use it against you. And lastly, let's talk about character. When you take 100% responsibility for where you are in your life right now without blaming anyone or anything else, it is a task that requires a lot of grit. And it is a totally different mindset, because taking 100% responsibility means that you are no longer a prisoner of your circumstances, and your situations can never define you, can no longer define you. It does not mean that you take responsibility for the injustices that were done to you, or that you simply let them slide. To the contrary, what you do is that you place yourself in a position of power whereby you can call those people to account. When you take 100% responsibility, you reclaim your personal power. And you tell yourself that I'm going to draw from within to impact the world, versus allowing everything around you and allowing the world to dictate to you who you are and ultimately define you. Look, if you believe that you are enough, lean in to that conviction, and you will see that it will find expression in all that you do without you having to say a word. Till next time, toodles.